So I did some research. I mean, this tweet says that they're the DEI leader for Google. And I don't know what that means, if this person's like a contractor or a consultant, but it looks like it's one of those. Less of maybe a direct Google employee. I could be wrong on that. I'm just going by what I was looking at through my research. Her name is Adrielle Parker. We're going to watch this video from her. But this is the website. Like, apparently, this person is, this is what they do. DEI, aka D.I.E, which means die, thought partner, workshop designer, and facilitator. So what it appears to be, and they've worked with some pretty big names, okay? You have Comcast here. You have Google, National Geographic, a bunch of people. And it looks like, I guess, they're developing these DIE programs for these companies, right? More specifically, and this is reading it directly from the site, I help folks identify and take actionable steps towards integrating diversity, equity, and inclusion into their work. So this is who these people are breaking in, these types of folks who became experts in this field. That's a fake job and a fake field, by the way, anyway. And they're bringing them in, and really the only reason that they're bringing them in to come up with these programs and all this stuff is so they can feel good about themselves, they can virtue signal and shield themselves from any sort of future weird stuff that goes on. That's the point, right? With that being said, there's a video of her having some interesting things to say. So we're gonna listen in on was it Adrienne or whatever Parker? What is it again? Adrielle Parker. So let's listen in on what Adrielle had to say.
In the year 2023, it also amazes me how many people are like, well, I don't see color, or it would be so much better if we just didn't worry about someone's skin tone. You as an individual are contributing to the problem because our broader society sees color, and it's not just physically seeing a color. There is so much more to it than just that. And if you don't understand that, you are again part of the problem.
Okay,
it's just
I'm gonna let her finish it here in a little bit, but let me say this. I will say that I do think nobody doesn't see color. People use it, and I understand why they say it, but nobody does not see color, right? You'd be stupid if you didn't, or blind. Maybe you are colorblind. But the sentiment is that, you know, they want to treat people like individuals, which that is good, objectively speaking, right? Where the least interesting thing about you should be your color, right? That or race, that should be completely irrelevant to any of that. Now, again, I don't say I don't see color or anything. I want to treat you like an individual, but yeah, absolutely, I say I'm not blind. Damn it, I see color, right? And yeah, I'm also not a guy that's afraid to talk about demographics. Sometimes that comes with a set of traits and attributes. And again, you'd be a plumb damn fool not to pay attention to that, especially in instances where it might get your ass in trouble when you are trying to approach it like everybody's the damn same. That's not how it works, okay? So that's why I've never liked this whole, no, I see color and I act accordingly, right? With that being said, the world will be a better place, okay, if people saw folks as individuals. So it's not a negative thing if people are like, look, I see you as an individual, not to be defined by solely your skin tone. I'm all for that. The world would be a better place if people looked at other individuals like such. But let's listen to what else she had to say to explain herself.
To keep telling people that over and over is so frustrating. And I was just on TikTok, and there's a trend where parents are teaching their kids not to see color, quote unquote. And I'm like, okay, so the next round of people that are going to be joining our workforce, this next generation, are going to be dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with now. Because to say you don't see color, you don't see me. You don't care to acknowledge the struggles that people like me face.
Oh,
and we're not
God.
looking for problems. We're not.
Yes, you are. That's your job.
In the year 2023.
Hold on. This chick just lied. Number one, your entire job is this whole D.I.E fake shit is to go find problems. That's the point. That's the point. It's to go find issues. But look, bro, there's nothing wrong And again, the world will be a better place. It's more of the sentiment. It's not the idea that you shouldn't see color. That's poorly worded. And I don't think, I'm gonna be honest, I think folks that say that, you probably can, there's better ways to say that while expressing the same sentiment. And that is that do not allow that to be a guiding principle. Do not allow that person's individuality, whether you're judging them or how you're acting, to be the sole defining thing when talking about whatever it may be or dealing with these sorts of folks, right? Again, if there are people that go into it thinking like, okay, I'm going to try to treat people as an individual first before appealing to their race, that is going to be a better workplace. So this whole, well, you don't acknowledge me or your struggle, it's not something, and I'm going to say this, bro, it's not your job and it's going to sound jacked up, but I'm just being honest with you. Again, we're talking about individuality. It ain't the job of the next person to sit up here and acknowledge this supposed struggle, especially in a climate where a lot of those struggles are made the fuck up. So this whole, like, that's narcissism. She's essentially saying your problem is that you won't acknowledge me. Like, Roman Reigns, get the fuck out of here. Like, it ain't, they see you, you're an individual, that's enough. It ain't on them to sit up here and, like, go out of their way to sit up here and acknowledge you. What type of narcissistic jackassery is that? But like I said, world will be a better place if people just start looking at folks like individuals. And more importantly, where individuals start treating themselves like the individual. I think it's less about worrying about, and this is why y'all remember that video I did that way back in the gap when I talked about this whole why I don't obsess over racism thing, right? That was when I was talking about brother Malcolm X and all this stuff. One of my favorite videos that I've ever recorded. And I talked about even like people showing preference to the race and how there's nothing inherently wrong with any of that sort of stuff at all. But, you know, I don't get obsessed over it because the main sentiment is that I'm an individual. And now you want to talk about acknowledging, I acknowledge myself as exactly that, an individual. So how some other person feels about me has no damn bearing on how I feel about myself, because I don't exist to sit up here, or you don't exist to appease me, number one. And I'm not going to allow you to have such power where you got to acknowledge everything it is about me, right? And not as an individual. We're talking about superficial things, right? Before I can feel good about myself. That's why I've said time and time, especially with race activism and race hustling, that is the occupation of losers. Total loser. But this is your person that all these big companies, look, man, these companies are all compromised. I done told y'all, bro. They long been compromised. It is what it is. Alpha Core #1's pre-order is live. Written by the legendary Chuck Dixon and penciled by Joe Bennett. Visit Rippaverse.com to grab a copy and any of the merchandise items. Be sure to also check out the animated trailer for the campaign, which is the latest project from Rippaverse Studios. Y'all be easy.